It's the Absurd American Nerdcast with your hosts, Freddy and Mr.S.
Welcome to the most absurd, the most American, the most nerd cast. Thank you for joining us today. I am your host with co-host Mr.S, and I'm Dino Freddy. How are y'all doing today?
Welcome in, guys.
We are also joined by my little cat today. Oh! So, we have a little co-host today, and you might see his tail. Hence, right now.
If someday my dog co-hosts, we have an issue because that means he's sitting in my lap, and that's
Yo, he is.
that's 100 pound. That's 100 pound lap dog that is not going to be a comfortable co-host.
He tries to be your lap dog.
He's actually pretty good about snuggling up right next to you. But there are times, I will tell you, there are times.
He's a big pile of mashed potatoes, and I love him.
He's a big cat, but yeah. he's lovely. Well, welcome in, guys. We have a lot of things that we definitely want to tackle and talk about today. Things that we're excited about, things to come. Freddy, what do we got all going on today?
We got a lot of things to talk about today. First, we're going to start with Andor, kind of work our way through HBO stuff. Disney has a couple of things with Guardians, the Christmas special that we want to talk about. Tales of the Jedi, which just dropped, and we're very excited to dive into that. Oh, yeah. We are also going to talk about Gamora. Where's Gamora? Who is Gamora? How is Gamora? You know? We want to.
Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora? So we kind of want to dive into that, and Steven, I think you have a couple things to say about Black Adam and your first reaction with it, since we're kind of diving deep into it. I'm still watching it, so he's going to be leading that.
So for Black Adam, so my first initial thoughts and reaction was absolutely amazing. DC has definitely done its justice. Welcome back to the league. That's what I will say. Finally, we got a really good DC movie that came out starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. One, I look up to him anyway, just from a business standpoint, from an acting standpoint, all that kind of stuff. He's been kind of a role model of mine, so not that I'm biased. I still judge the movie just like I would judge any new movie that came out. I think that DC writers still have a little bit more to work on. The writing seemed a little lax, but they did a good job with some of the twists. They did a good job with bringing the characters all together, telling a little bit of the backstory, and really get the ball rolling. I like that they brought everyone back that was worthy of bringing back from Shazam. That's really cool to see that tie-in, and because they are linked. The wizards gave him his powers, so it was really cool to see the wizard back. Shazam is not in this movie, just to be clear, but all the references from it, if you watch the original movie, you'll be very pleased, and knowing that the second Shazam's coming out, really good setup work for that. So another shout out is the end title scene, which of course is all over the internet, so this is not a spoiler. And that's Superman's returning. We got our Superman back, and they did a really good job within writing. I will say they did a really good job bringing in and tying in everything. As far as like the overall writing, it was kind of meh. But it was a solid DC movie. I'm very happy with everything. Dwayne did a really good job playing the Black Adam. I just think that, again, this isn't a spoiler, but in the end battle scene, the child character that's in this movie that plays the main character's son, he's just rolling in on a skateboard, man. Like, nothing's going on. Just small cruise in with this mob crowd behind him that's like angrily like gonna go battle, and he's just like, "Hey guys, rolling in. Look what I did." cheesy part of the movie. I like
I just feel that a lot of Hollywood doesn't know how to represent like teenagers, so they're like, yeah, throw a skateboard at them, just like
yeah, like
make them like hip and cool, you know.
this character was so early 90s with the skateboarding and the attitude and everything. It was just kind of like it threw me back to when I was in like middle school and Jackass just came out.
Oh my god, yeah.
And everyone's skateboarding, doing all this stupid, crazy stuff. Which, of course, this kid plays a like. His mom is like a like kind of a rebel, standing up against the corruption that's going on, and so of course he's gonna act out and do some really crazy stuff anyway because that's kind of what is programmed to do. I didn't mind at the beginning when they added in the skateboard and everything, kind of give him an edge. But at the end, if you're gonna roll into battle to take on like underworld demons, you don't stroll casually on your skateboard and be like, "Hey guys, showed up to the
What's up?
party." Just kind of casually rolling in. Look, we came here to save the day.
Because you know how they say like other parts of the world are like years behind here, or we're behind something in Europe.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood with it when it comes to kids. They're like, yeah, throw a flannel, some ripped jeans, make them edgy, paint
Yeah.
their nails black. I mean, it's what we do now. I wanted to paint my nails black when I saw My
It
Chemical
shows
Romance.
the age of the writer.
Yeah,
Because they're
right.
writing what they know, and what they know is skateboards.
Um,
He's a bad boy.
And I've got to say, I think the most, and this might be a little, I don't know, controversial, but I think the most accurate representation of teenagers, of like how society kind of is in certain parts, is Euphoria. um, and I watched that and I was like, damn, did he just go to my high school?
Right.
Yeah, it was
He's
like
just
without
go to
like
my
the.
high
I mean,
school.
there
That's
were
weird.
major drug problems and stuff like that, but I think that's like the most accurate thing to see. But
Right.
like when you look at Hollywood as a whole, a lot of them are very out of touch when it comes to child actors and stuff like that. Like they're like, oh yeah, this 11-year-old's gonna talk like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
What?
Makes zero
Just doesn't make
sense.
sense.
But that was kind of my like weird thing that I saw in the movie that I'm just like, why? Why did you do that? But
Yeah.
everything else I thought was absolutely amazing. Doctor Fate.
Yo, yeah, Doctor Fate. I was
That was
happy seeing
wild.
Hawkman.
Hawkman was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like this movie did a good job of early years of Justice Society. I mean, there's still no Batman, Aquaman, Flash. They're still not part of it. Maybe they are part of it, but they only call them for like big, big issues.
Well, I think like
Um,
JSA never had Batman. That's why the Justice League was created.
okay, I thought Batman
Yeah,
was in charge of JSA for a while.
no, because you have, I believe, Jay Garrick as Flash at that point, not Barry Allen. You have Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern. You have Doctor Fate. You have Hawkeye. Well, not Hawkeye, Hawkman and Hawk Girl. You have, I don't want to say like the Atom is a part of it because I think he comes later on, or he does. It just, and then you have
Uh,
Stargirl. You have
I,
Captain Marvel at one point. So
interesting.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, Adam was really cool in this. I would have liked to seen the shrinking suit, like see him be able to do any like multiple sizes like he does, like obviously in the comics and the shows and stuff. Like he can shrink as well as enlarge.
Mhm.
So we only saw him enlarge. I just wanted to see at least once where they show that
Yo,
his superpower is shrinking too.
he got knocked cold. Like he got uppercutted, knocked out. That
But
was
it's
so
worth it.
funny.
I'll get knocked out by Dwayne on screen. Why not? But overall, Black Adam, amazing movie. Definitely go check it out. It's already breaking records left and right. Um, they have already said that it is Dwayne Johnson's biggest premiere ever on opening weekend. I think it was 67 million
Good for him,
for
honestly.
US, for just US. That wasn't worldwide. Like,
Yeah.
wow. And definitely noticeably so, just because it is such a good one. I will definitely be going to see it again. Um, we're gonna be doing like a breakdown and talk about the movie as well, so be looking for that to come out. But we just kind of wanted to give you our first initial thoughts and reactions. Black Adam, DC's back on the map. If they keep up this work, they'll be back on par with Marvel, and we might get some really good superhero movies from both DC and Marvel in the future. So I'm stoked
And
about that.
including James Gunn overseeing everything media wise when it comes to DC, their movies, TV, and Kevin Feige even said he's excited to see where DC goes from here, and he was the first to know from James Gunn. And apparently, when James Gunn tweeted who he told first, he told John Cena second because of Peacemaker.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, I'm excited to see where DC goes. The last DC movie I thought was like really decent, besides like the Zack Snyder cut, and I know there's a real big following for the cut of that movie, which
It
did
was,
that movie justice. And I'm
yes,
not
agreed.
even, no pun intended, but it was. I thought it was a perfect Justice League movie without Joss Whedon involved. Before that was Aquaman. That movie was great because it was directed by James Wan. The choreography in that movie was beautiful. The animation, 3D effects, everything was just awesome. Fights, like including that last fight when he was fighting. Who's Patrick Wilson's character in that? Do you remember? I'm kind of blanking
I
from it.
No, I
But
don't
he's
remember off the.
fighting on like a overturned ship or another creature, and it was the coolest fight choreography I've seen in DC. Um, and then before that was Wonder Woman, the first one, not the second one, '84, which was
1984.
kind of,
Yeah,
it wasn't that great, but I did like Pedro Pascal in that, which was really cool.
it was
So
really. I did like his character and everything in that. Cool
like
villain, cool
like
concept.
how you can get like unlimited wishes and stuff like that, and the world just kind of goes to like that
Right.
is what you would see if that would happen. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, it was very accurate to what was going on.
Oh yeah.
It was just kind of like writing and pacing was just kind of like predictable
Hmm.
of what was going to happen. Um,
But
it was cool to see Wonder Woman and her abilities and everything a little bit more so in the beginning, but not so much at the end. Like she was a badass in the beginning, and then it was really kind of lax with action sequences later.
I
Um,
also feel like Cheetah should have been a little bit, I don't know, more vicious because that's how
yeah,
she is in the comic.
right. I could agree with that. It was she could have been a little bit more.
Like,
Um,
don't get me wrong, I love Kristen Wiig, and I think she did a great job portraying her human self. But I feel like there should have been a little bit more oomph when it came
on
to
her,
being more
yeah,
like that character. You know?
I agree. And
Yeah.
then kind of looping in with Black Adam here too is what I really enjoyed with the Snyder cut was you really saw the characters, their abilities, and you felt like you were in the comic with them. So like
Oh yeah.
when there was an action sequence, the Flash, you were right there with him, watching what he sees and how the world moves slow. Superman just like so with Black Adam, they took note of that, which I absolutely loved. And during the action sequences, you really see his powers and his abilities as he's using them more so in that style. So, like I said, that just kind of piggybacking off of what we thought was one of the greatest movies the DC's put out so far was that cut. They took notes of that style of shooting and film, and they put it into this, and it really shows. Like if you're a fan of the comics and you want to see what it's like if you were right in the comic with them and see what was going on, they did a good job of slowing down the effects, showing them using their powers and everything. And obviously you see his super speed and everything really fast too, but it when you hear Paint It Black on the screen watching Black Adam, just know that it's about to go down and pay attention because those are some cool sequences.
I think we saw something like that fight style, and I'm gonna say Injustice because we really saw that first, like in the video games. When it came to everyone's powers being displayed. I mean, not like you can't see it in the comics, but it's more
Right.
visualized in that video game. And then from there, we saw it in Superman's movie Man of Steel when he was like flying through the sky and was punching, and then you saw Zod fly, and then he zoomed up and punched him again, and he flew back like
Right.
that's like so cool, and that's ripped from that video game, and that's like really, oh my god, they just know how to fight in DC movies. Like, I'm not saying Marvel doesn't, but
Right.
Marvel likes to do like open shots where it's like, oh, you see the surrounding, you see the people, you see them doing all this stuff, but they're not like,
Up close.
besides the Hulk at one point in Age of Ultron, you do not see like him go in like that. You don't do like body cam stuff. You don't see like either over the shoulder, like pointing out like this so you can get right into it and you can see it, or you're seeing it from like right here and as the panic sets in and stuff, or
Right.
the anger. Like I want to be up front because that's the action that I kind of hope for from superhero movies. You know?
Right. And,
So
and DC is doing a good job of really throwing you in right in the action. So again, good stuff coming from there. Um, I don't really have anything else. Did you give me your first initial just reaction from Black Adam?
Since I've only seen part of it, I've enjoyed it a lot. I think it's done really well. And, you know, since this movie's been in development for 13 to 14, maybe 15 years,
Right.
trying to get it launched, I'm happy to see the result from this. And I'm happy to see where DC kind of goes from here because, like,
Right.
I think the new slate of DC after Justice League Snyder Cut came out and Suicide Squad came out, I think that is the new DC. I think that is where we're going with every project moving forward.
Right.
I mean, I'm not excited to see Flash because, you know, Ezra Miller's trash. But I'm excited to see Michael Keaton again, you know, and that's the only
Right.
reason why I want to see it. So, yeah.
Bring back Grant for Flash.
Oh my God, please.
Bring him back.
He was great.
We loved you as Flash. He was such a great Barry. He was such a great Flash.
Yes,
Bring him back.
I agree.
That's all I
But
got really for that. But yeah, that's kind of what we thought of Black Adam for first reactions and everything. Again, be looking for that video coming out where we really dive in and pick it apart more so. But moving forward, let's talk some Star Wars, man. I really think that we should talk some Star Wars, because Andor is becoming more and more a phenomenal show. Um,
yeah,
so we're up to episode 8 now, I believe, and we got through the heist. Everything was great. The rebels now have funding, but now we're kind of seeing the intricate part of what happens after. So it wasn't just like a yay, we did it. So we have the senators that are plotting and scheming, and what happens now because security is at high alert. Well, how do we move all this money that we just got? Um, we see Kazian. Kazian's now arrested in the latest episode. But if we back up to episode 7, some cool stuff did happen because heist is over. We need to figure out what's going to happen next. So now we're setting up what the Empire's doing, what the Rebels are doing. Um, so it's been really cool to watch, and it's really, in my opinion, one of the best Star Wars things that's happening right now, because this is the beginning. You're literally watching the Rebels become a thing.
yeah.
So, timeline wise, you know, you get Ezra Bridger that's stealing Melu runs right now for the cause. At the same time that all this stuff is happening with Kazian.
And this is the same timeline as Rebels at the moment,
Yeah.
right? Or is it before Rebels?
If it's just before, it's just before, but these timelines are very close. Because obviously they work for the rebellion and building. I thought Rebels did a good job of kind of like where the Rebels started and where they ended up,
Yeah.
and this is doing a really good job of how did the Rebels become to be.
And you were telling me that, like, in recent episode, the one that just aired, that Saul Guerrero shows up, correct?
Yes, I was gonna get there. I was in episode 7. Let's back up just a little bit because there's some cool things
Okay.
that are there, and then we'll move on to episode 8. Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
So in episode 7, it's worth definitely pointing out that Wolf Yurlin is, I believe I'm saying that right. Wolf
Yeah.
Yurlin. Um, if you guys don't know, OG Star Wars character was on the Death Star in Empire Strikes Back with Vader.
A New Hope.
Oh, A New Hope.
Hmm.
Keep me correct. So he was in the original scene with Darth Vader before he does the choking and everything. He was just chilling there, and this character has really kind of been around and growing with us. He was in Clone Wars as a
Hmm.
high colonel. He's also the voice that announces everything that happens before. Um, and then we saw him kind of grow there, and then he was in Rebels because he's actually really close acquaintances with Thrawn, which is why I'm really mentioning it is because this is a like really close guy to Thrawn and all the stuff that Thrawn did. He is now retired and is a colonel in the ISB, which is where he kind of was standing in Rebels. So now I'm kind of looking at this as they're hinting at Thrawn, and maybe there'll be some crosses here. With the Ahsoka series and everything coming out, maybe Andor season 2 might have some Thrawn in it as well.
Um, so Thrawn comes a little later.
Okay.
Thrawn, I think it's established in the comic, but the Empire I mean, obviously the Empire has been established, but I think at this point, um, that he's training at the academy
Okay.
because he has like a partner with him, and I forget the guy's name, but he has like a weird Southern accent that I've, you know. So
Gotcha.
um, I think he's at the academy in this timeline, and then Thrawn becomes a Grand Admiral like a little bit later on. I think if I'm right, this is when Thrawn's at the academy.
I mean, he moves up
Um,
ranks really quickly too.
yeah, and he becomes like, besides Tarkin, he becomes like the Emperor's like grand strategist, I think, because
Gotcha.
like he works very close with Tarkin, Vader. He doesn't like Vader, but he also figured out Vader's identity in a book. I think in Throne Alliances, he's like, "Yo, what up, Anakin?" And then Vader's like, "Excuse me."
Right? Like
Blue screen.
I murder people that have that information.
um, but
Well,
I'm ready. I know we're gonna see Thrawn in Ahsoka, and I'm excited to
right.
see Ezra Bridger
Bridger.
come back, and reprise his
I'm
role.
I'm super stoked and ready for
Not
that as
reprise his
well.
role, but like see in live action.
Right.
So.
So just really cool stuff that's coming on with Star Wars, but I thought it was at least worth mentioning that character is there because he's a very important stature with the Empire.
Mhm.
Another cool thing that happened in Episode 7 was they kind of took um, the Kazian comic of where he met K2SO, and they made it live action, pretty much shot for shot. Now it wasn't K2SO, but the scene where he's on the beach and he's um, like walking on the beach and he gets arrested, where the droid like picks him up and chokes him, is pretty much shot for shot for what happens in the comics in K2SO and his meeting.
Mhm.
Now, whether or not they take that and do an actual shot for shot from the comics of the meeting. Who knows? But it was just really kind of cool to see from like a nerd standpoint because that's what we do. We're talking
Yeah.
nerdy, you know? Like something from the comics, just like all the other stuff that DC, Marvel, and everything. We're taking stuff from the comics, putting it into live action so that the people who know, they know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just really like it was really cool to see. So that's just English words. It is too early for me to be talking.
Yeah,
um,
we decided to get up early and record since we have things to do later. So
yeah.
you're getting morning conversations with us in our
Sponsored
hair.
by coffee. Coffee. It makes you wake up
Ah,
in the morning. Um,
good old cup of Joe, eh?
yeah. You know, cup of joy. Eh?
Mm.
So it's moving on from episode 7 and all that kind of cool stuff. Episode 8 was very interesting. Um, Cassian's now in prison, and what an interesting prison it is, with no weapons and everything's electrified. Where if you sleepwalk, you die. That's that's where we are with the Empire. We don't like
Didn't stay there.
sleepwalkers. But seeing how the prison works, they're kind of already hinting at a prison escape. We see people using a type of sign language talking to different areas throughout the entire complex, which I thought was really cool. How'd you know that somebody else spoke that language? How'd you find them? And even more so, what are you communicating? Because there's no subtitles for it. Um, with that being said, when he's actually working and doing all of his mechanics and everything, you actually see Melshi on the production line working right next to him. Melshi is actually a character from Rogue One where he helps free Kenner. God, I'm telling you, warning, brain freeze. Um, Melshi helps free Jyn Erso, and he also is on the ground crew that goes to Scarif. So another little tie-in, making it very accurate for us as fans. That's going to go right into the movie. Um, Again, excellent job with everything that's going on. I think that the writing's a little slow, but I also appreciate that they're taking the time so that we get the fine details of what is going on and what's happening, and they're really letting us get those smaller conversations and sideline chats that are really setting up everything else that happens later on. So, as far as Andor goes, great show. Highly would suggest watching. Once the season's complete, I know that there's going to be a second season. But for those people that like to do Star Wars marathons and watch everything all the way through in timeline order, this is going to be where a lot of people are going to start from now on, and it's exciting. I just like a
I
bunch. So Freddie, you take it away. Your thoughts and everything on Andor so far.
I like it so far. I'm still in the beginning right now, but I am enjoying all the character. I like lore build up, and I like getting the scene build up, and they do a perfect job on both. I love character development, which we see Cassian um, in the beginning, kind of starting out. We see a little bit of his childhood. We
Right.
kind of go from there. And again, I'm in the first couple episodes still because I'm kind of waiting for all that to drop so I can just marathon it through. I I like all of it. The cinematography, the score, it's the most Star Wars thing we have so far. Besides, Tales of the Jedi, which just dropped.
They definitely like
Uh,
throw back to that classic cinematography feel, which is
mhm.
great. So you're getting a lot of new edge like technology stuff, but they're keeping the old style. Where as much that they can build and make like practical sets, they do.
Like I feel like Lucasfilm should take that temp. I mean, they are because I'm. Well, they. Here's the thing. I think they should continue with that. Use the original trilogy as this is how you set up a scene because this is what Star Wars is. Not
Right.
Not what you think Star Wars is, but what Star Wars truly is.
Right.
Because, like, what was it? I'll use an example. Disney Star Cruiser Hotel
Right.
is what you think Star Wars is. It looks more 2001 Space Odyssey and Star Trek
Yeah.
more than Star Wars. You can have a Twi'lek on board, but then I just feel I'm at a cosplay convention. What Star Wars truly is what you see in Andor, Rogue One, and in Solo. And I know a lot of people don't like Solo, but that was a great movie. Like, that was like reading the young adventures of Han Solo. If you guys haven't read that,
You'd
please understand
appreciate
this
that
is what the
movie a lot
character
more.
is, you know?
Yeah.
But I
It
will.
was a true Han Solo film for Han Solo fans. If you were a true Han Solo fan, you loved the movie. If you weren't
Mhm.
really a true, like, big Han Solo fan, which is great, that's fine, you probably didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, I mean, it had the right amount of character development, the right amount of, like. I mean, it's not Legends anymore, and obviously this is all different, you know?
Right.
But I'm glad what we got. And I'm glad that we got what we had gotten from Ron Howard. But, you know, that's the template which you should be following. What I'm trying to get at. But, you know, you were talking about not too long ago with guest appearances and, you know, from other movies. I mean, obviously the Mon Mothma from Revenge of the Sith deleted scene,
Right.
and she was in Revenge of the Sith. Then
And
she was in Rogue One, and now she's in the Andor show, which, there you go, including Forrest Whitaker. You have, you know,
and
Melshi in this now.
that cutscene in particular is like literally the birth of the rebellion.
Yeah.
Everyone that's in that private meeting is literally creating the rebels. So, one, that scene is so important. We should have had it canon in the movie anyway. Um, but taking two of those senators and literally putting them into Andor, seeing what happens.
Well,
So,
Jimmy Smits was in Rogue One. He was in Revenge of the Sith. He was in the prequel trilogy as Bail Organa. Because we
right,
had never really seen Bail Organa in the original movies because Alderaan blew up. And
right,
I'm just glad that we got that. You know, we have that character, and he loves playing that character from what I've read and from him
and
talking in interviews and stuff like that. He always wants to play as much as that character as he can. And you know, with Kenobi, him showing up in, which was
right,
really cool, and you know, I'm excited to see what else he shows up in.
right.
But I like the direction and where we're going right now, and I'm excited to see what happens from Star Wars right now because I know the sequel trilogy was kind of, in my take, garbage. Um,
I mean, yeah,
like Force Awakens was great. Like
that was
that
it.
was a great starting point,
And
and
then,
then you just went fucking
yeah,
nosedive right into the ground with Last Jedi.
yeah, it was just like great start. No,
Yeah,
no,
but you also mentioned the droid that picked up Andor,
yeah,
Cassian Andor, in on the beach. Apparently, that was from the comics.
yeah.
I never
That's what
read
I was
the
saying.
Andor comic or anything like that. So, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
I mean, everything that I've already said before is still adequate. It was right with it, like frame by frame. So it was again, it was just cool to see that on the screen, and for those of us that caught it, it was kind of just really cool to see that little tidbit and nod to the super nerds out there. That hey, we have this comic book that we're paying attention. You know what I mean? If anything, it tells us that we're paying attention to the details and we're trying to do the best job that we can for you guys. So that was really cool.
Um,
What I do know is that you said there was some hidden gems in the store that you wanted to mention, um, in the antique store, from like Jedi replicas and Padme's hairdress, and you said that
so
you had used some.
yeah, oh my god, yeah. This I saw on what was it? Because you know Twitter, everybody leaks everything.
Right, of course. Twitty
I
leaks.
could, it could be the day before and an episode gets leaked. You know,
Right.
I saw Padme Amidala's in this recent episode that came out in a still that it was her headdress from episode 2 when she arrives to Naboo with Anakin off the that transport ship, you know, because they had to disguise themselves as locals so she didn't get assassinated. Um, we have Starkiller's armor from the Force Unleashed video game. We have Plo Koon's mask. We have a Jedi Temple Guard mask. We have. There is just so many things
There's
in
so
that
many
antique
things
store that I want to just go.
so many things in that antique store that scream, "I'm a rebel."
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, besides the Sith armor in the background,
Right.
hey, I'm a rebel.
But
I'm
most
a
of that stuff,
collector.
it's like, how'd you get Padme's headdress? That was probably something that Senator Organa got and brought in during a meeting for him.
Why would he carry that though? Like, I'm just like, how do you get that?
I mean, Organa and Padme were close friends. Why
No,
would he
I
take
mean,
the
like-
headdress? I don't know, but it makes that'd be the only person that I know that could really be linked to getting him that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but again, just to bring that is kind of weird,
Yeah.
you know, because he's like the stepdaddy of Leia. So I don't know, but it's very interesting to
Well, I
see.
mean, at this point in
what
time, Padme's not alive
appears.
anyway, so it's just maybe he got it when he went to the funeral. I don't know. I don't know how he got it or anything, and how it ended up in that store. That's just my theory of how it showed up, because that's the only connection I can really think of for that.
Imagine if someone goes, "We need a roadmap to all those items in that store. Where'd they come from? Disney, tell me now."
Oh, there's someone somewhere that's like
Has like
got the
a
yarn
sign me
string.
page.
He's got this yarn string corkboard, trying to figure out who's linked with what and how he got all the items.
It's like that image of Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny, just like smoking a cigarette, but just going like, "You see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about?"
Like, how did they end up with a Jedi Temple Guard mask? Well, you see on my board back here that if you didn't, and that is how it ends up in the storefront. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that it gets sold to like. There's somebody out there that's going crazy. Good for you. If you're one of those people, comment below, because I want to hear where everything came from.
Yeah, oh my god. We would love to hear everyone's theories or made up stories about where these items came from. Pick an item and then write a short story.
Don't know, get me a list and write me a story.
What if it was an auction and someone goes, "Yeah, they bought this in bulk from an auction." I'm like, what?
And the best one that Freddie and I find, we will read on this channel.
Oh my god, yeah.
I
The
wanna
best
know.
one.
You guys, this is you guys. Everyone listening, comment and let me know all the listed items that are in the antique shop. Where'd they come from? Where'd they go? Where'd they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Let me know.
Smooth.
Smooth
with that
right?
one.
Perfect. Moving on from Star Wars then, I think it's only fitting that we move into the other big name with Disney. Oh, wait, we didn't really talk about Tales of the Jedi. So,
okay. Well, I mean, we
before
are
we tie up
be
Star
doing
Wars.
reaction videos to those and first-time viewing for, you know, me and Steven. I did check it out a little bit just to kind of see, like, how... I mean, obviously, I like to know how it's being written. So I checked out, like, the first episode, and I wrote some stuff down, but I didn't really, like... I mean, I'm just writing talking points down at this point. You know, I'm not really focusing on the video. I'm just listening. So...
It seems like these are going to be good fill-in points for things that we need to know but haven't been told.
Yeah. I mean, Tales of the Jedi is an old comic book from, I think, the 90s, where obviously it kind of focused from the Old Republic, and we also got Tales of the Sith. We have, you know, all those books from Legends. Y'all should check out. Either on... You know, Marvel, I think they have, like, the omnibus version for, like, your, you know, one of those, like, e-reader things. What are they called? What is that thing called? Like an ebook, a notebook?
What, like a Kindle?
Yeah, that. I am showing my age. Here you go. Um, I just went,
Remember when Amazon was a bookstore?
hey,
And
whippersnapper, what are the
they
kids
came
reading?
out with this cool thing that's called the Amazon Kindle where you could read unlimited books on a
So
tablet.
many books!
And then this was before tablets were like multifunctional touchscreens and everything. This was a like look like a page of a book with like the text right behind it, and it was a tablet and you could read books as if it was like a book, and it had anti-glare screen. It was this huge ordeal. What a step that we've taken from Amazon being a bookstore, a online e-reading, to everything.
You know, it's the year 2022. A lot of people back then in the 50s or maybe the 60s thought we might have flying cars. But we have an anti-glare reading device.
Right.
Welcome to the future.
Oh man.
Okay, so yeah, you can check those out on like Kindle or whatever reading device that you choose, maybe on your computer. Maybe just go to a bookstore. Bookstores are
Yeah.
great. Libraries are even better.
Skip the tablet completely and just buy a book.
Get a library card. You can have the most fun with the library card, you know? Thanks, Arthur. But yeah, so these are like one-shot stories, but they're like continuous stories from what I understand. I know from the trailer that we see young Dooku, young Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka coming into how she was brought into the Jedi Order. So we could see her life, but what's the death? You know, we had Victory in Death as a title for the Clone Wars, as like, you know, the ending of that series.
Right.
But we're seeing life happen. So are we getting in the Ahsoka series, or we're going to see her death? Because it's probably going to be a little bit after or during the original trilogy. Because like if there's another Force user, if there are two more Force users, and she knows Luke is a thing by the end of Return, does this mean that we're going to see her later in her life when Ezra dies, or she probably does pass on through the Force because she's not shown in the sequels? So
Right.
like at this point, I'm kind of wondering what happens to Ahsoka, you know, since we're seeing her whole life through books, through comics, through TV,
Well,
maybe movie. We just have to wait and see
coming
because I'm
soon.
excited to see it, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited. That series is going to be awesome, and it's still up in the air where it's going to be and where it's going, kind of thing. So yeah, perfect.
Now you were mentioning before we went to Tales of the Jedi. We're going to talk about a big name coming to Disney Plus. Now, this big name, if anybody's been a fan growing up, I don't know, out of high school, and you fell in love with Doctor Who, guess what? He's coming to Disney Plus. And that's so exciting. And it's going to be David Tennant again. So when I looked at the trailer, I don't know if Mr.S, have you seen the trailer to the Doctor Who show
I have
that's
not.
coming out? So
I personally have not even watched Doctor Who. So
10-4. Okay, so when he transforms, he goes back to be playing David Tennant's character. So every time the Doctor transforms, he becomes a new person, a new personality, and the wand is different, and I think the inside of the ship is different as well.
okay.
Every time, I believe. Please, it's been a while since I've watched the show. Last time I watched the show, it was the beginning of Peter Capaldi's appearance from Matt Smith. And I really got into Doctor Who when Matt Smith was a doctor because he was just really fucking cool. A lot of people might hate me for this, but this is my most absurd and most controversial thing. I wasn't a big fan of David Tennant. I did enjoy Christopher Eccleston for his one and only season of Doctor Who, but I just felt like I wasn't clicking with David Tennant's Doctor, but I clicked with Matt Smith's Doctor more than that character. We see a lot of cool things. Like I believe we get introduced to the Weeping Angels when David Tennant's Doctor Who becomes a thing. Because he's like, don't blink in the video when he's trying to tell the people, don't blink. If you blink, they move. They will kill you. They will get you. And I'm excited to maybe see more of that in this show that's showing up, but I don't know because it just announced it. I'm not sure if it's going to be an ongoing series. I am not sure if it's going to be how many episodes, who's going to guest appear in it, but I am excited to see where this direction goes. And with Disney, doing really great with their TV series right now, when it comes to Star Wars or Marvel shows, I think they're doing fantastic. I really do. And I know a lot of people might disagree because of like She-Hulk and Hawkeye a little bit or this and that, but you got to remember, like this stuff is from the comics, this is from lore, but for Doctor Who, this is brand new because we've never had a Doctor become the same Doctor twice until now.
Wow.
So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how it develops. Are we getting? I think her name is Billy Lord back as Rose, not Rose. Is it Rose? Again, it's been a while since I was in high school. I'm 30 now, 31 now, guys. Give me some slack. Trying to get onto it, but I am excited to see what happens, and I want to know what you guys think. What theories, what weird things that you think are going to happen. Are we going to hear any more about Bad Wolf? Are we going to see another Doctor? Because we had that interaction with the three Doctors in that one movie that we got back in the day, which was really cool. So you guys let us know what you guys want to see. If you guys want us to do reaction videos to it, or you guys want to see Steven get into it, let us know. We are very open to suggestions. So Steven, go ahead and take it away with the next topic.
If you guys want me to binge it, let's say 100 likes on the video, 100 likes on the video, and I will start binging all of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small amount. I'm kind of wanting to check it out anyway. 100 likes, we'll start binging it. And then
also tell us where we should start. Either at the first Doctor, or should we start when the reboot happens with Eccleston? Let us know.
It's like debating which way to start Star Wars. Do you watch it with Episode 1, or do you start with Episode 4? I don't know. And these days, it's kind of like you might as well start at the very beginning, and
because of how much lore is coming out, and you're going to be like, I feel like if you start at Episode 4, sorry, we're talking about Star Wars again, guys. But I feel like but it's the same thing with Doctor Who. If you start at number 4,
right? Do you start with the first Doctor? Or do you start with the third, and then watch the third one and go back? Because then you get all the references and all the crosses. I don't know. So tell me in the comments. Comment
but
below.
You also get great other Doctors if you start with the first Doctor. I think you should start with the first Doctor. I know it's in black and white, and I know it's really old.
OG and work your way through and just appreciate everything and where it's come from.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it kind of goes with, I don't know. Besides Star Wars, I don't think there's really anything else unless you pick up, no, because that won't even work. No, never mind.
Okay, well, you guys tell us in the comments. Should we start with the first Doctor? Should we start with something else? Where should I start? But remember, 100 likes. And I got you guys. I'll start benching that. So with that all being said, let's move on to more so Disney but Marvel, shall we? Because we got a couple of new things out. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special is going to be coming soon, which I am excited about. But at the same time, I feel like it's going to be kind of a cheesy, fun movie, which is cool. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
And we're getting some really cool, fun stuff with it too. I think it's awesome that they want to give an amazing Christmas to someone who is grieving. So very heartfelt, which is really cool. From the trailer, we see a few things. We get Cosmo, which I'm excited because we've only had one small little tidbit from Cosmo, so we'll be able to see more. So that's going to be fun. But what we're really excited about is Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God, yes!
Kevin Bacon,
that would be so funny. What if he mentions
as Kevin Bacon? And we can only hope that Kevin Bacon is going to be a Guardian of the Galaxy member.
Imagine if he goes, "Yeah, I tried going for the Avengers," because like, what was it? Thor. Someone mentions to Thor, "Is Kevin Bacon on the team?" I think it's Mantis, and he
Oh
goes,
yeah,
"He could be." And what if
I
they do
haven't been
that?
there
But
in a
like,
while.
that'd be a really funny callback, you know?
But instead of joining the Avengers, he is a guardian, so to speak.
So funny.
So what was your first initial thoughts on the trailer?
I'm not a huge Christmas guy,
Me
and for
either.
those who know me, definitely know that I'm not a big Christmas guy unless it comes with the best comedy of all time, Christmas Vacation. But I thought this was really funny and cool, and it's something the Guardians of the Galaxy would do. Like, it's not out of their character to be like this,
Right.
especially if they're still acting like themselves, like Drax and Mantis, and which I think are kind of the best duo to work together
And
because they're not like
it looks more so like this is going to be focused on them, which we don't really get a lot of them anyway in the other movies. So I'm hoping that they kind of focus on some of the side characters and give them more development
oh yeah.
in a very fun way.
Here's this though. So like with this, I know there was rumors about Dave Bautista's ending his contract because after Guardians 3. Because I think a lot of people think Drax is going to die, which, wouldn't be like the craziest thing, but it's also, it's a good character building arc, from losing your family to finding your family to defending your family.
Right.
And I think that's where it's going to go. And there's a lot of
Vin
speculation that
Diesel.
comes with it. And, speaking of people's last appearance, a lot of, like, I think it was posted 3 days ago on Entertainment Weekly's post with, person who's playing Gamora. She said that it was kind of bittersweet, and this may be her last time playing Gamora, you know, which, is interesting, good, because we also still have one daughter of Thanos, which is Nebula. But if this is Gamora's last time, I get it. But I also believe that she may come back for Secret Wars because I think they're gonna. There was like a rumor of Iron Man coming back, Captain America coming back, like Steve Rogers for Secret Wars because it's that big of a movie with you need that big of a roster.
Right, but we're also talking
And
about different dimensions and different realms
mhm.
that have those characters still in them, so it's not out of reach for them to come back.
Oh yeah, and I mean, since we're dealing with different timelines being matched into, and I think we have also talked about this before about Secret Wars is Battle World, which is different universes collided within themselves. So we could have X-Men come in. We could have any character that has died come in. Harrison Ford was cast as the Red Hulk. When is he coming in?
Right?
Also, that's a different universe as Red Hulk or Thunderbolt Ross. So like this is like whatever Marvel's doing right now, whether it's introducing characters that have nothing to do with the main storyline, or they're bringing characters back from the dead, or different universe takes on those characters, really cool. You know, we could see the Iron Man family come back. Robert Downey. We have Rescue. We have Ironheart. We have all of them. War Machine.
Whatever Kevin throws our way, right?
Whatever the god Kevin throws our way, you know. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with it. It is going to be very interesting, and I'm glad again it's being split into two movies. And I want to see the Guardians become better because we might not have Star-Lord. We might not have a lot of those characters. I think the only characters that might stay are Groot and Rocket. I really think those two, and I think Mantis as well, will stay on the team. And then everybody else is going to either be killed off or,
So
just
we're gonna
leaves the
have to
team.
trim some fat before we get to the meat and potatoes of Secret Wars. Is
Oh,
kind of where
yeah.
we're going.
Well, it doesn't mean they don't need to trim the fat right now until Secret Wars.
Right, but I'm just saying, like,
Because
eventually,
in
some
Guardians
of these
2, we
characters we're
have the
not going to see anymore.
egg of Adam Warlock. that still hasn't hatched, and originally in the comics he was supposed to be like a bigger character, a bigger role, but he's just there, chilling with the those people painted as gold. What were they called?
I forget what they're
We
supposed to
forget a
be.
lot because we're old, guys. Please
Yeah,
forgive us.
it's Alzheimer's. That's all it is.
Whippersnappers. What are we talking about?
In it, going to kind of go off of a fan theory here. Okay,
Yeah.
so with the Guardians and the Christmas special, we've got Kevin Bacon. Knowing that in the MCU, fictional characters and gods are canon, because we made a reference to Jesus in the Thor movie.
Mm-hmm.
What if Santa shows up in this?
Ooh.
I'm saying.
What if it's like old Saint Nick, not Santa,
Right.
like old Saint Nick?
Like a fictional Santa, an immoral, fun Santa. But what if Santa was more of a Rise of the Guardian Santa, where he has the tattoos, he's more of a fighter kind of aspect, right? And in order to save Christmas and give the best Christmas ever, he joins the Guardians to fight against Cole. I don't know.
That would be
But
really funny.
but knowing that fictional characters are canon in MCU, what if Santa is real and Santa shows up in this movie?
Well, originally, I don't know if I've ever told you or we've ever talked about this, but originally, like, he's a fictional character. Godzilla was in Marvel Comics for a while, like before he went to IDW and
So
or
you're
Dark
saying
Horse
there's a
Comics,
chance?
depending. But like, imagine seeing like a nuclear lizard walk to New York or like try to attack New York, and the Avengers is like,
No.
"I wish we had the gauntlet."
Right. So I don't know. I'm
um,
just kind of thinking of like ideas of where this movie could go, and since it's going to be a fun kind of crazy adventure movie, um, I'm just kind of thinking, what could they do that would just kind of throw us all off? And honestly, if Santa's real and Santa's a god, so to speak, um, it's not too far fetched to have a real live action Santa that's
I mean, you saw
for
Zeus with all
real,
those other gods and all those
right?
deities. I mean, Thor is a fan of him because Zeus was the basically the all father back in the day for the Greeks. You know,
Right.
hornier than ever.
You, you are this close to being uninvited to the orgy.
I wonder if he went to the orgy dressed as another animal because he's very famous for doing that. Like, I think one time he screwed somebody while being either a duck or a chicken. I can't remember, but he screws like other people because like,
When you're the god of gods, you know what I
oh
mean?
my god,
Oh,
what a guy! You know, what a guy.
I mean, besides that and going to all the orgies, I mean, turning water to wine is still on top of the list there, man.
Jesus shows up. Yo, Trick,
Did you
taste
do
some
you
of the purple
remember
drink.
the original movie, I believe it was, of what was it? Lightning Thief. What was it? Why can I not think of it? Oh,
I'm trying to think of another movie that Zeus has been in. But for
the
some reason, I think of
Percy Jackson.
Socrates from Bill and Ted.
Percy Jackson, man. That's what I was thinking about. Percy Jackson, where they make the comment of, the Christians have a god that does this in reverse, and he keeps getting his wine turned to water. The Christians have a god that does this trick in reverse. Now that's a god.
Honestly, I think I would go to parties and just say, just fill up all the cups with water and I got you. You
Right?
know? You'd be a hit. It's
Yeah,
like when
right.
the Browns did the free beer and they won.
Beer.
Like, here you go.
But I
Bros,
don't
we're all
drink
getting
beer.
lit.
Vodka. It's like, oh, you wanted bourbon?
Oh, gotcha.
Well, what's the god of food and drink in Bacchus. Bacchus, right? Like,
For which
what?
religion?
I don't know. I think his name's Bacchus. That is known
Welcome to
for
our religious talk, guys. You thought this
known
was a
for
nerdcast, but we're
food and
going through
wine.
different deities and mythologies.
Yeah, right. But anyway, we'll circle back now. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Do you think Santa's going to show up? Do you think Santa's going to have superpowers? Is Santa going to be a guardian?
Is
I don't know.
Mantis and Drax going to find the true meaning of Christmas?
I don't know, but as long as Kevin Bacon's in it, I'm in. We got to cut Footloose once.
What if he does a
Once.
Footloose montage? Oh my god, yo.
With Peter
What
Quill.
if...
With Peter. Ultimate
Oh my
Christmas
god,
gift.
that'd be so
The
funny.
ultimate
Yo, what if
Christmas
they
gift.
show a recording of him doing a dance in front? I forgot his name. Oh my god, I'm forgetting names. What's his
Alzheimer's.
name?
That's what happens when you're over 30, kids.
Oh my god.
Eat your vegetables.
I'm blanking so hard. The Conqueror. His title's the Conqueror. What's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about. You guys know who I'm talking about. First villain in Guardians 1. That guy. What if they show recordings from that? And he's like,
They time jump.
yeah. And like, that's his true meaning of Christmas. Kevin Bacon and telling him, hey, you have great dance moves. And that is what I'm posting on this channel first. So y'all know. Y'all heard it first. You see it?
You heard it first
boom.
here. That's it.
Heard it first.
Moving out of Star Wars. Out of Star Wars and Marvel and everything else that we've been going on a tangent about.
Oh my lord.
I think that we should definitely start talking more so about House of the Dragon because we are done. We've had a finale, and what a wild ride it has been.
So, okay, House of the Dragon has a lesser tone than Game of Thrones, even though in the book it's the same amount of violence. But I like that this is more story focused than violent focused. If you like get what I'm saying, like I think it's much better. Do I wish it was more violent? Yeah, of course. I wish.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we just saw. I mean, for spoiler, whoever watched the season finale of House of the Dragon knows that if you disobey or you get a dragon to disobey its owner by speaking some Valerian words, it's gonna bite you in the ass again, like mid-air. Which I will say, like that was cool. In the book, apparently, how the Queen and everybody found out that he died was that his remains washed up on Storm's End shore like 3 days later. And that's how everybody knew he died. And that was the oh my fuck moment on like his face was like, oh shit. I was just here to make fun and toy around with my cousin. Then my dragon ate him.
Right? Like, if you're gonna intimidate him, do like 1 or 2 passes.
Yeah.
And then go on.
Yeah.
Like,
throw some fire at him, you know.
He is very much to blame. He very much poked at him. And I mean, obviously there was retaliation with, fire to the face. So I mean, it's like taking 2 dogs that are normally really good, fun, loving dogs, but then you put them in the cage together and one bites the other one.
Bro, when he landed he was walking on Storm's End and that dragon pulled up behind him, behind the wall.
Right.
If I saw that, bro, I would have been like, I'm good. I'm so good. Storm's End,
Fuck
I
this
don't
shit,
care.
I'm out.
I don't care. And I'm out.
Fuck this shit,
We're out of
I'm
here.
out.
Yeah.
That dragon is
I would've
huge,
died.
mine
Like-
is smaller. We're getting on out of here.
Oh my god, yo, that.
Hey, I got a
I will
message. I got a message. Can you just give this to your, Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm gonna head home.
Yeah. Make sure he stays behind until I am gone.
Right.
I do not want him to leave at the same time as me. There was precautions. You could have took precautions. If it didn't work, whatever.
I just feel like he could have said, "Hey, you obviously have issues, Stay here. Let him go. I've already pledged allegiance to you. Let him go,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll deal with that later. But like, I
I will say this from the book. There's a lot more crazier things to happen than I don't know, like Game of Thrones, like the book series so far. Like there's a lot of crazy shit, and there's a lot of things that link up with each other, and there's a lot of Easter eggs, right? Obviously, because it's dealing with the histories. And the person who wrote Fire and Blood wasn't really George R. R. Martin, but there's three people, and this is being written during the time of I think Robert's Rebellion at the moment by a maester who's like in his late 80s. There's a jester and somebody else who was on the Kingsguard at the time of the Targaryen rule back in the day that remembers it from living memory. And they're just basically working off poems and songs at the moment. Uh, that the people that are writing in, the point of view. Um, I I know that we're going to see a lot of deaths. Obviously, it's Game of Thrones, but
right.
there are going to be deaths that no one's seen coming, who have not read the books yet.
That's me.
Um, and you're going to see true Targaryen war when they have dragons. And I hope we see later on in season, like the series, that we see when Rhaegar had his dragons and then did not have his dragons. Because I think Jorah Mormont said in season 3 to Daenerys, because like Sir Barristan Sam is like, yeah, but you're not going to win the throne with this, and you're not going to win the throne because you're selling your dragons. And he was like, yeah, Rhaegar fought honorably, Rhaegar fought nobly, and then Rhaegar died. So like, I'm excited to see how the transformation of this one powerful house, not from books, but I'm excited to see it represented on the show.
Right.
And with it not focusing heavily on violence, but violence when necessary, I think we're going to get a lot of like lore that is just chef's kiss on the screen. So be ready to not have any more favorite characters still, because remember, this is Game of Thrones. My favorite character was Robb Stark, and I was reading the book at the same time as season 3 was happening. But guess what? I watched The Reigns of Castamere before that book, that part in the book, and I was like, you know what? Everyone's talking about the Red Wedding. I know this is about to happen.
Right.
But I was still shocked. I was still shocked. So I'm excited to see more of that. I want to be shocked. Everyone's going to be shocked with us. I want to say who lives and who dies.
Let's
So
not,
bad.
because I don't want you to spoil it for me.
I'm not going to spoil it for you or anybody, but I will say this. Get your pants ready. Get your brown pants ready. And be ready. Just be ready. Oh,
brown pants ready and a full cup of coffee.
Everything's going to go to shit. And it's going to be great.
I mean, just that last the last scene where she turns around and that face, like you can just tell, like, oh fudge.
Yeah, she was like, well, she did say that she wasn't going to cast the first attack.
Yeah, but she didn't.
Nope.
And I mean, dumbass killed her son.
I really wish they were like, hey, let's send another envoy besides my own heirs to the throne.
Right.
Not a smart idea.
They needed dragon riders, but I feel like they needed someone a little higher up.
Well, now in my count, we have 12 dragons left for Reyna's part, and they have 3 dragons still. The greens have.
Are you
high
getting all
towers.
the wild ones and everything as well? And they have unhatched ones too.
Not wild ones. They're all on Dragonstone. Like their dragons are there on Dragonstone.
Right. We got dragons there. We have unhatched ones, and we have riderless ones that are nesting.
There are going to be writers for those, but I'm not saying anything.
That's fine.
And I'm not telling you who. But a lot of people are going to be kind of shocked with one of these characters that gets one, and I am not looking forward to it.
Heard.
So I fucking hate the person on the show. I will say that they are just a person right now until y'all find out. So, yeah. But those are our thoughts. That's my thoughts on the show. I think it's done great. It's beautiful,
Oh,
and
so great. Again, using
I
like
wish
the
I can say. Why is this? Are we
oh,
frozen?
you're frozen. It's a great face.
Steven, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
The
I'm here.
camera, our
There you
cameras
go.
are frozen for. Oh, there we go. There we
Your
go. All
camera
right, just
froze.
edit that out.
No
All
way,
right.
dude. It was a perfect photo of you. We're keeping it.
Thanks.
It was this photo of like like, you had an
uh,
excited face, not a weird face, so we're, you know.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. My finger was up, not up my nose that time.
Yeah.
So, um, the costume design, yo, y'all checking out these costumes? Like they're
So great.
now frozen. What the fuck? Sorry, guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on our thing, but if you could still hear us,
Yeah, we're good, dude.
we're here. So the costume design is really great. I love Reyna's dresses. Old dragon on her, and it's a black dress, like the gold trim of the dragon right up on top of her, like where her collarbone is going up.
Right.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful costume design. And I'm not saying everybody else's costume design sucks, but my lord, like I just impress every episode.
I can
And
definitely
I'm
tell
a,
that it keeps getting more intricate and more, I don't know, more and more beautiful, to be completely honest. Like the amount of work that's just going on in the costume department for this show.
it's prime. It seriously
Yeah.
is. Like
It really nails in all the littlest details, you know. I mean, even from Allison walking in the green dress to dinner to show that, oh, okay, I can't say that I'm going to be going to war, but I can make a statement. And even from the armor to the stitchings to just everything is so great. Like,
oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal craftsmanship, tailoring, all of that, including like the set designs. Do you know that we really didn't see Storm's End in the original show? That
yeah,
we
we
see
really
it
didn't.
now. I mean, we've been to Dragonstone before with Stannis,
Right.
but we've never really truly seen Storm's End.
And
We
what a
saw a little bit of
crazy
Casterly
scene.
Rock. We saw High Garden in the original show, but I'm
Hmm.
so happy to see what Storm's End, what
And
Renly, Robert, and Stannis grew up in.
and it was nice to
Finally.
see not on like a bright sunny day, but why it has its name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, like seeing the pouring down rain, the thunder, the lightning, and then even the throne room in Storm's End, where it was very
Mm-hmm.
much masking, and you could still see the elements and everything coming in, but it was what a great set design.
Very great set design. I
When
will
we talk
also, I
about
want to point out,
Dragonstone, um,
huh?
I said Dragonstone as well, the table that we haven't seen illuminated. And at the end, towards the end, where you see them put the fire under the table and it illuminates everything, Stannis never did that.
Yeah, because it was destroyed.
Okay, fair enough.
When Stannis took over, he ransacked the shit out of Dragonstone and used whatever he could use for fire and shit. That's why he ate the horses, the rats, the cats, the dogs, the people. Like, he did whatever he did for Robert, and that's why he was really pissed about Robert not giving him what he wanted. And also, obviously, being the heir to the throne, the true heir to the throne.
Hi, buddy.
I'll fight anybody with that. But um, yeah, everything got destroyed at that part. Like besides the castle, the fort itself, the castle, and because of Stannis Baratheon and his men.
We have
So,
another special guest here. You can see if you see
is
his
that
name.
Hirsch?
It is Hirsch. I have a feeling that he's gonna jump up here and say hi here in a minute.
Oh, he's a big boy.
He is a big boy. You want to come up here and say hi to everyone? Yeah, come here. Yes.
Oh, there's Hirsch.
Everyone is.
He's such a big smile.
He's such a good boy. We just had surgery, so we're not feeling the greatest, but it's good to see him up and happy.
Hell yeah, he looks a lot better. He looks like more, like much better now.
Yeah, he's getting he's doing great after everything. So we're keeping up the good work. Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt you on your thing, but it was just like, hey,
no, you're good. I'm always happy to see
he's
Hershey,
right
and
here.
obviously my cat O was here earlier in the
Yeah.
podcast.
This
Uh,
episode brought to you by pets.
Brought to you by our most lovable and adoring pets.
Make sure to have your cats and dogs spayed and neutered. Control the pet population today.
Thanks, Bo.
Hey, you're welcome. That's gonna be a short.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Yo, imagine if like we made a commercial with like a small YouTube commercial for our channels. Like, here's our pets. Like, that's the thing that breaks us out, you know.
Yeah, right.
So,
Who cares about all your nerd stuff? Tell me more about your pets.
my cat would just wants me to pet him. He doesn't. He used to like going outside, and then I started petting like the back and whatnot, and he just wants me to do that 24/7. Now he lays here finally, and I just go like this to him, and that's all he wants. And my hands and my wrists are so tired. They're so worn out.
He's wanting something, so I know that he's probably wanting water or something here in a minute. We're gonna go out.
Well, guys, let's do an outro now for this and say goodbye to everybody. And thanks to everybody that's been joining in with us today and hearing us talk. It means so much to us that everyone wants to listen or wants to check us out. And
just
we
be here in general, man. Like we
yeah.
appreciate it so much. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow everything that we're putting out, so that way you guys stay in tune and informed of what's going on for our scheduling and things that are coming up and all that fun stuff. I know the next few months are going to be absolutely insane for us, where our busy schedules are going to kind of tone down a little bit, so that means we get to put more time into doing things for you guys. So we appreciate the patience while we've been building what's going to be something that we're going to be doing for a very long time. So being here at the beginning and really showing the support now is just absolutely amazing from you guys, and we keep seeing it. Just know that it's so appreciated from us that you guys are choosing to be here and listen to us. So with that,
all of our socials are slowly coming together. Instagram is up and running, so guys, be sure you follow us on that, because you're going to get a lot of updates on when we're recording, when we're posting videos, when we have reaction videos, snippets coming out, and we're going to get more active on the socials. You're going to be talking to mainly me or Mr.S on there, and just be sure you just tune in and check us out.
Yeah.
Or if you want to see our cats and our dogs, like,
yeah,
if that's all you want,
they're plugged in there too. So that's just get tuned in, so that way you guys know everything that's going on. We might be posting stuff a little bit early for those of you guys that are following us. So if you want to see an episode early before everyone else gets to, we're probably going to be posting links on that before it's actually up on YouTube and live on YouTube. So just a little extra benefit from us to you, so that way you guys can see how much we do appreciate everything.
Steven and us, we've been thinking about doing a Patreon for those who want to see stuff early, want to see what we're doing, what we're editing, rough cuts, deleted scenes, stuff like that. We're also going to be posting a lot of playthroughs, full walkthroughs of video games that we're going to be playing. We are also going to be on Discord. We're going to create our own Discord channel so we can chat with everybody on there. If anyone wants to drop memes, stuff like that in our Discord, you are more than welcome to. Just give us a shout out if you guys want to join, and we'll send those links out to you, okay?
Perfect. Well, until next time, this has been the Absurd American Nerdcast with Freddy and Mr.S, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Look forward to
see ya!
This has been the Absurd American Nerdcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the bell for notifications.